What's going on, everybody?
Good morning,
Kevin and
everybody.
TK here. It's the morning grind. We're ready. It's Friday. We might have Dr. Dan hop in. I don't know. He said he's coming. He may come. He may not. It's Dr. Dan. You never know. He's like a mysterious superhero that swoops in and saves the day. How you
Isn't he
doing,
on
buddy?
vacation this morning?
Oh, he is on vacation. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
traveling with for his son for his son's
Archery
what was it?
competition.
Archery?
He said. Yeah.
Yeah, archery.
Yep.
So how's it going, man?
Good. How are you this morning, TK?
I'm doing pretty well, man.
That's a good thing.
I woke up. I got a fresh cup of coffee in my Appliance Alliance mug.
It seems like we just did this.
Yeah,
This week went by
it does.
fast.
Dude, I noticed that too. Like it flew by.
It did.
I was actually reading something recently that I thought was pretty interesting, but it was talking about, you remember when you were little and like time just seemed like it went forever. Like
Yep.
the days were long and life was long, and like a week took forever. A
Yep.
year took forever. And I was reading this article about why, as we grow up, time gets shorter and shorter and shorter to us. And what the article said was the reason that happens is we get into routines of doing the same thing over and over and over again. And when you're young, especially like, toddler and all the way up into like your 10, 11, 12, entering into puberty, everything's new. There's new experiences all the time.
That's a good point.
And I was thinking about it, and I was like, well, if that's the way it is, then wouldn't it make sense that we as human beings need to seek out new experiences?
Yep, that's exactly
seek
what
out
that means.
Things to break up the monotony and the routine and the everyday grind of just doing the same crap over and over. Because I mean, let's get up. Let's be honest. Excuse me.
Are you okay?
We all have routines. Yeah. We all have routines. We wake up.
Yep.
We do our thing. We whatever your routine is. And we go through these schedules every single day.
Yep.
From the time we're a student in school to the time that we're grown-ups, we go through these routines. So what I've been really kind of thinking about is like, how can I add new things into my life and new experiences that would help me to live longer? The days seem longer rather than shorter. Does that make sense?
Exactly. That makes sense. But in this line of work, we get to see new things every day. It's not as bad as if we're in a factory or doing a job where we're just hitting the same button all the time.
Hey, there he is. He made it. The man. The
Barely.
myth.
Good morning, Dr. Dan.
Morning, sir.
How are you this morning?
Let's see if I can do this.
Wet and groggy. I don't do well traveling.
Do any of us do good traveling?
Things we do it for our families.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. Where are y'all at again, Dan?
Down in Montgomery right now.
Okay.
Yeah, my son's got a
archery tournament.
Yeah, my son made it to state, so got an archery tournament today.
He must be good at deer hunting, buddy.
Well, hopefully. We haven't gone hunting with him yet.
Okay.
He's just working on doing target practice pretty much.
That's cool. When I was little, my dad was an auction junkie just like me. I got my picker blood from my dad. He was a picker. He handed the picker addiction down to me. And my dad was an auction junkie. He used to go to auctions all the time. And one year he went to a sports store auction. A sports store was going out of business.
Oh, wow.
And he bought everything that Christmas was sports related. I mean, I got footballs, I got basketballs, I got, golf equipment. I got I got stuff that I had no interest in. I wasn't a sports kid, but he got me a bow and arrow. It was a Little Sioux, Sioux, Little Sioux bow and arrow set. And man, I shot that bow and arrow in his backyard a million. I mean, I loved it. It was so fun. Because when you're little and you have a bow and arrow, that's like it's like your first BB gun. You know, you get that first BB gun, and man, you're just out there popping off shots. You think you're freaking John Wayne. I thought I was some kind of Indian outlaw in the backyard trying to shoot birds and shoot targets, and that's fun.
The only problem is my kids lose the arrows all the time.
Yeah.
They're constantly shooting into the woods, and I can't ever find them then.
That's why you buy them a wrist rocket.
Yeah. I lost more than one. I lost more than one arrow, and we had to end up going back and re-upping on arrows. I think bow and arrow is a really fun. We did lose Dr. Dan. What happened? Let's switch over. All right. Well, his wife's still here. Good morning, Marion.
Good morning, Marion.
Got my brother from another mother, mi hermano, Saúl.
Good morning, Saúl.
Buenos días, Dios te bendiga, gloria a Dios, en el nombre de Jesús, mi amigo.
He's back.
He's back.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
Not a problem.
But yeah, is there anything you guys would like for me to pray about this morning? Anything specific? Other than blanketed prayer for all of us?
A blanketed prayer works for me.
Blanketed prayer, absolutely.
Pray us up. And I'm going to pray us up. I got a quick verse, and then we're going to start talking about property management. This is a precursor to our mastermind we're doing on the 19th. I'm not going to give away the whole spiel, but I do want to get some of you guys thinking about, am I ready for property management work? Because it's one thing to just run out there and do it. It's another thing to prepare yourself and do it correctly. And that's how I want you guys to do it that aren't doing it right now. Or maybe you started doing it and you can get a little more prepared. So let's pray, and then we'll get into this verse. Papa, thank you for this day. Thank you for waking us up. Thank you for my brothers, Dan and Adam, and the community that you've allowed us to be a part of. Thank you for Marion and Saúl and everyone else watching right now. I just pray that you would bless this time, help us to reflect on ourselves, reflect on our businesses, evaluate our businesses, and prepare ourselves, Lord. Help us to not just rush into things all nilly-willy like we know what we're doing, but actually plan and process through things properly and be good stewards of the opportunities you give us. We pray for every member of this community, every business represented, every family represented. And Lord, I just want to lift up several of the people in our community this week that lost loved ones, or they themselves passed away. I know we lost a brother of the craft this week that passed away. Lord, I pray for his family. I pray for our other brother of the craft that lost his wife this week, Lord. We just want to lift those families up to you, Lord. We want you to just comfort them, Lord, like only you can. If they don't know you personally, I pray that this experience would draw them closer to you, and that you would just be their refuge in times of sorrow. Thank you for everything you do for us, Papa, and we love you so much. It's in your Son, Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
You guys could, I posted I tagged everybody in the group on a couple of GoFundMes. We did lose one of our brothers of the craft this week. He passed away. I don't know all the situations, but anything helps. If you could go to the Alliance Facebook group and make a small donation, even if it's $5, even if it's $10. My challenge to you guys is give them each a service call. If you can't give them a service call, then I understand, and I'm sure they understand. But if you can, give them a service call. I think that's a beautiful way to honor them and respect our brothers that are going through hard times. They're both in the Alliance group. If I can go back and I'll go back and find them, and I'll push it to the top so that y'all can see them. But if you're watching and you have a couple extra bucks that you can spare, hopefully you do. Go and make a small donation or a big donation, because I can only imagine losing a loved one like that unexpectedly. So, and also just keep those people in your prayers. But moving on, I got a verse for you guys, and it is Luke chapter 14, verse 28. For which of you, desiring to build a tower, does not first sit down and count the cost, whether he has enough to complete it? And this verse goes perfectly with what we're talking about. Because what I want to do today is challenge each of you to ask yourself, am I ready to get into property management work? We're doing a mastermind on April 19th at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm heading it up, and I'm going to be going over all the ins and outs of property management, how to find the property managers, how to onboard them, how to keep track of the jobs, how to invoice, how to communicate, how to do it right. And I can speak to this because this is one thing that my company excels at. If there's one thing that Richmond Appliance Guys does well, it's property management work. But today, what I want you guys to ask yourselves is, am I even ready for property management? Because I'll be honest with you, if your systems and your processes and your procedures and your communication lines are not tight and ready, you need to get those. It's better to get those things tight before you start than getting knee deep in the thick of it. And now you got, 600 doors, 1,000 doors that you're responsible for. In property management, we call houses doors.
Okay.
When I say the word doors, if a property has 1,000 doors and they call you, you better damn well be ready for those 1,000 doors. You better have your systems in place and have your ducks in a row ready to service those 1,000 doors. We actually had a guy call yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before? Sometime this week, and he's got 1,000 doors. And the reason he's calling us, and this is no shade to anybody, well, take it or leave it. I don't care. The person might be watching because they are an Alliance member. The reason they're calling us is because the last person is not ready for property management. The last person did not communicate well. The last person did not have processes and procedures in place. And we could see that. We see it every time. Every time they come to us, they're coming from another vendor, and they are not communicating well. They are not invoicing properly. They're not streamlining their operations to tailor to property management. And that's what we're going to be talking about in the mastermind. But that verse says, for which of you desiring to build a tower does not first sit down and count the cost, whether he has enough to complete it? This verse isn't just a good verse for am I ready for property management? This is a good verse for everything in your life. Before you make a move in life, business, whatever it is, count the cost. Figure out if this is a good move for you. I'm so blessed to be in a community group now with Dan and Adam, where I have two brothers that I respect and look up to ask questions and bounce things off of. And then further than that, I have a community of people that I can prepare myself for the next phases of business or whatever it is, and even life. Um, so utilize these things. What do you guys think? What do you think about counting the cost before you get into something new?
It's a good thing to do. Yep.
Go ahead.
You don't want to run in and make decisions without looking at all the options before you do it.
Yeah, you've got to be, getting ready for, you're going to have the customers who are going to be calling, who are going to be demanding. You've got to decide how far you're going to go, how much you're going to, how much you're going to do for what. I've done property management where I've gotten a call at 2 o'clock in the morning from one of their tenants expecting me to come out and fix the stove. Well, guess what? It ain't happening. And yet the property manager thought that basically I worked for them. Well, we had to have a discussion about that one. But then again, I've had other ones that were just, I would have bent over backwards for, because they were the greatest that you could ever. So you've got to decide, just like when you're working with regular COD customers, you got to decide who's your customer and how you're going to take care of them. If you're not going to take care of them, don't waste their time. Don't waste your time. That's simple.
Absolutely. Yep. And that is so key. Go ahead, Adam.
What would you say the biggest difference between a property management customer and a regular COD call would be?
For me, the biggest difference is you are not going to a customer's house. That is the biggest difference for me. When I go to a property manager's house, I'm going to I'm going to a tenant. And it takes so much of the what is the word I'm looking? It takes so much of some of the awkwardness of a call, especially for new guys. Like new guys, they can get awkward in front of new customers. But when it's property management, that tenant just wants their washer machine to work. You don't have to discuss price. You don't have to discuss anything with that tenant other than, Ms. Johnson, your washer is fixed. It's good to go. And really, in my opinion, you shouldn't give that that tenant very much information. And it's just so much. It's so much more laid back. And y'all can tell just from knowing me, I'm a laid back guy. And I can go in there and I can blow that tenant's socks off.
Yep.
And still give out of this world service and experience, but there's none of the tension of, oh, how much is this going to cost? They don't care how much it costs. They just want their fridge cooling again. They just want their dishwasher to not leak water on their floor. So that's the biggest thing for me. What about you, Dan? What do you think about that one?
Well, yeah, actually, working with the customers or the tenants is almost like working with warranty. I've gone into tenants' things, and you could tell right then and there, they're a demanding, caring, just, well, I know this machine's only 6 months old, but I want a new one, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And so you got to be careful what you say around them, because tenants will lead you into making them think that they're getting a new machine.
Yep.
And so then the property manager's coming back to you going, "Hey, pal, what did you just tell them?" So that's something you got to be real careful about. But yeah, you kind of walk a fine line, because you definitely want that good experience for that tenant, because that tenant is still basically a customer. They're going to talk, they're going to leave reviews, they're going to do things. But yeah, that's the big thing. You have to craft your presentation a little different, where you don't go behind and go, I ain't never seen this before,
Yeah.
And you run into situations where you get the nocturnal creatures, the critters, the cucarachas, and you have to be careful how you handle that. You definitely got to let the property manager know that he's got a bug problem, but you can't say, well, these guys are pigs.
Yep.
But the property manager does rely somewhat on you to know, especially ones that are way off property, out of state and whatnot. Okay, how's the tenant treating this room, this building?
Yep.
So there's some things you have to craft in there, but you can get a really good relationship. I dealt with a lot of off state that they were renting out different houses, and we had some great relationships. But again, yeah, once you got everything crafted, especially right at the beginning when you're putting together your contract with them, okay, this is when I expect to be paid. Here's here's how it goes. Because if I have to chase after the money, you're gonna, like I've said before, you treat me like a bank, I'm gonna charge you interest.
Yep.
So
we've gotten rid of property management companies for not paying.
Yeah, so that's why you spell it out on the contract. When this is when I expect to be paid.
Let them know what your expectations are.
Yep.
Here's another question for you guys. So how would you treat an Airbnb? Would that be considered a property management, or would that be considered a regular customer?
That's a property. He's managing a property.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's managing properties.
Yeah.
I've done some Airbnb stuff. Yeah, I've done some Airbnb stuff, but that's actually a market that I haven't tapped into. That would be very, very, I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's a market I have not tapped into. That would be very easy to get your foot in the door, because you already got their contact information. All you got to do is go in there and look at the property and go on, Airbnb, or what's the other one? There's another Airbnb site that's not called Airbnb, Vrbo. Yep. Go on Airbnb, go on Vrbo, get the properties. I'm going to go a lot in the mastermind. I'm going to be talking a lot about vetting property managers. And Dan just touched on it a little bit, but it's so important when you start doing property management work that you first and foremost, like Dan said, figure out who do you want to be working for? Yep. What kind of houses do you want to be going into? If you go on their website and it looks like every one of their properties is in areas you don't want to be doing work in, I wouldn't suggest reaching out to that property manager. We go to high end. I mean, we have a few that have a couple of more rundown properties, but we mostly deal with middle to high end properties that are, either working class or upper class people, middle class to upper class people that have nice properties and don't have la cucarachas and don't have, disgusting houses that you're going to go in and, because here's the thing. A lot of times it's not the person that lives there's fault necessarily that the house is quite as bad as it is. These property managers don't take care of their properties. They're slumlords. I am in no way, shape, or form interested in doing work for slumlords. We have gotten rid of so many property managers over the years because once we started doing work for them, we realized these people are slumlords. They're not taking care of these people. It's really sad, to be honest with you. It's sad to see how some of these property managers take care of their properties.
Yeah.
Saul said, when negotiating rates with property managers, always have a high number. And if they say no, ask them how much you think you want to pay. Let them negotiate against themselves, but always have your target number. That's a good little nugget. Yeah. And don't undercut yourself. If you go with that high number, but know what your bottom line is, and don't cut yourself short.
It's like negotiating with a contract company.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's like negotiating with a warranty company. It's like negotiating with a contract company. It's part of doing business. You need to know what your bottom line is. And I know we sound like a broken record talking about all the time, but you need to know how much you need to make per job. And you cannot go out there and not make money running service. You have to make money. You have to be bringing in a profit on each job.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things that I love about property management, and Dr. Dan, I'm sure you can attest to this too, is the regular flow of work you get from these customers.
Oh yeah.
They sustain us during the slow season. We are constantly adding new people to our portfolio, and every single one that comes in gets vetted and screened and then put on a trial basis. We let them know from jump, hey, we're going to run 3 or 4 calls from you, but this is a trial basis. And we are net 30. If you don't pay us within 30 days, you're going to get a fee added on, because I guarantee you they have a late fee for their renters. I
Mm-hmm.
guarantee you if that
Yep.
I guarantee you if that tenant doesn't pay their rent by the 5th or the 10th or whatever their number is, there's going to be a late fee. And then if they don't pay within 90 days, so if they miss 3 cycles of the 30-day period, their bill just went up $75, and now they're getting put on hold until they pay us up front, until they pay us in full. We do not. One of the biggest things, and I'm gonna give this away for free just because I love you guys. It's part of my presentation, but one of the biggest things with property management is you do not want to build a huge debt with a property manager. You do not want to let their bills get to $3,000-$4,000 and then they ghost you and go on to the next one, and then you're trying to collect and you're taking them to court and dealing with all this stuff. We don't have time for that, guys. 2 to 3 jobs, if they're not paying within 30 days, put them on hold. Hey, Mr. Johnson Properties, I'd love to do another job for you, but unfortunately, you owe us $785. You give me a credit card, and my suggestion, get a credit card on file.
Yep.
Get a credit card on file, and then you have no worries.
Yep.
The way we do it, you know what? I'm not going to tell y'all how we do it. You got to come to the mastermind for that.
I was going to say, don't get too much right, TK. We won't have anything to talk about.
I get excited, man. I love property management, man. It's such a great fit for my company, and that's one thing that I really want to drive home in this episode is you have to ask yourself, what do I want to be doing in business? Property management straight up might not be a good fit for you. It's a perfect fit for my company. It is what we are going after. If I had my way, and oftentimes I do, if I had my way, we would do 80% property management work and 20% COD. Right now we're at 50-50. But some people get stressed when they look at their receivables and they got $20,000, $25,000, $30,000 owed to them. That's money in the bank for me because I know they're paying me. I know it's coming in. Mm-hmm. If I go to my receivables right now, and look at my receivables, I'm going to look at it real quick just because I'm curious because I didn't look at it yesterday, and it changes day to day. Some days it'll be 20,000. Some days it'll be 30,000. That doesn't bother me one bit because that's money in the bank for my company. Right now, come on, dang. So right now, we are owed $21,000 due, and we have $9,406 overdue. That's normal for me. That's money in the bank. I know that I got $21,000 in the pipeline coming, and that $9,000 is coming soon. That $9,000 will be here within the next, 30 days. So that stuff it's money in the bank, and I love it. But if you do not have your systems in place, if you are not good with your accounts receivables, if you do not have someone going in and making sure that you're getting paid, you're not ready for property management. They're going to run you through the ringer, and you're going to be chasing your tail, looking for money, scratching your head, saying, "Oh, did this person pay me? Oh, I think this." You have to have your stuff tight before you start doing it, and that's what this episode is about. It's a precursor for the following Saturday. You have to get ready. There's no once you're in the thick of it, it's too late, and it's so much harder to backtrack. Me and Dan and Adam and their wonderful wives are in a community group together, and we met last night.
Yep.
And we were talking a little bit about property management. And the reoccurring theme when we talk about property management with anyone that I talk about it is you have to be ready. You have to make sure your stuff is tight. And I have created some stuff for you guys.
And I can tell you that I'm not ready yet.
You're close though, bro.
You're close.
We're not ready.
Yeah, you're if this is the line, you're right next to the line. Like we're gonna have you in the next few. I'll put it to you this way, Adam. In the next month, I think between me and Dan and you'll be a rock star, man. You'll be
you'll start just knocking it out of the park.
I hope so.
Yeah, because
that'd be great.
I was actually surprised and impressed because one of the things that I created that I'm going to showcase at the property management mastermind is I created an AI tool that's going to help you. I created several AI tools. The first one is going to help you evaluate your company to see if you're ready for property management. And it's got a list of questions that we formulated that it walks you through, and it basically scores you to see if you're ready. And then the second one that I created is a property management finder. So it's a lead finder. And I've set it up so that instead of going to Google and having to sift through and filter through all these different property managers, you can actually punch in your ideal property management customer, and then it's going to give you a list of the ones in your area that fit your customer avatar for property management. And we're going to be releasing those and showcasing those at the mastermind. So I highly recommend joining that mastermind. And then the last one, what is the last one? I done forgot what my last one is.
We used one of those last night, didn't we, TK?
Yes.
It worked really good. I suggest going to the mastermind because that gave us it worked really good. We put the questions in and we were able to get the answer pretty quickly that we were looking for.
Yeah, it gives the tough questions, and some of them you may not even know you needed to know.
I didn't know I needed to know it. Half of them.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, then you don't know what you don't know. You know, It's one of those things. The last GPT that we've made for this is the property management client evaluator. So let's say a property management reaches out to you, which is what once you get the ball rolling, they're coming to you. We don't seek out property management work anymore. I haven't sought out a property management company since probably my third year in business. They come to us. And so now what you got to do is you got to run them through your vetting process.
Yep.
So what I did was I created an AI tool that you can customize for your business to run them through and see. So the customer calls in, your secretary pulls up this client evaluator, starts punching in the number. How many doors do they have? What zip codes do they work in? What is their payment processes? Man, there's so much that I want to say, but I don't want to give away the whole presentation. Let's say good morning to some people. How about that?
Sounds good.
All right. Where was I last at? Marion Ibsen. Who's this Marion Ibsen lady? Will you be going over your vetting process in the mastermind? Yes, I will. Very, very thoroughly. And I will be giving you the tools to vet your customers. Saul said,
will those tools be on the mastermind on the Alliance website then for the all access members?
Eventually, yes. I am working with Mike now to figure out how to do that and the best ways to do that. What we're talking about doing is putting together SOPs and documents. And within those documents will be embedded the links to the GPTs. Okay. So there'll be a document that tells you how to use the GPT, and then at the top of the document there'll be a link, and you click on it, it'll take you directly to the GPT, and then the document will give you the instructions to walk you through.
Okay.
And this stuff is all beta. It's still in testing. I've tested it a lot. And Saul said you will to put them. You want. I think he said meant to say you want to put them on Net 30. Fill out a W-9 and please have a CC on file after certain limit is reached. Yes, absolutely. Sean Allen checking in this morning. Good morning, brother.
Morning.
Why does Dan keep disappearing?
I think he's on his phone, maybe.
Doinks Appliance has a question. What's a good way to offer services to them?
That's a good one for you, TK.
I mean, are you asking how to contact them? The sky's the limit, really. Like, how do you want it? That's part of your processes that you have to put in place, is how you reach out to these customers. I personally think that a formal phone call is the best way to introduce yourself.
Mm-hmm. My area,
call them up.
I think I'd send out a letter, a firmer letter to each one, and see if I could.
There's another great option.
Yeah,
and I don't think it needs to be just one way. I've literally in the beginning days of the Appliance Guy, before I merged in with Austin, I literally had times of slow work where I would go out during the day and have addresses of property management companies. I'd have a pocket full of business cards, and I didn't know what the heck I was doing. And I would just go out and stop at property management offices and talk to them. I'd stop at realtor offices and talk to them. I think an initial phone call is nice, and then on that phone call, ask them, "Hey, how would you like for me to get my information over to you? Would you like me to email you? Would you like me to send you an actual letter?" It all depends on how you think it's going to work best. For me, the phone call is usually enough. Like I said, once you get the ball rolling and people realize that you're the go-to property management company servicer in your area, you're not going to be reaching out to anybody anymore. They're going to be reaching out to you.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, I've picked up a couple of them just at the Chamber of Commerce meeting, networking with realtors. Yep. You know, realtors are huge, and it kind of plays on each other. Your property management companies will refer you to the realtors, and the realtors refer you back to the property management companies. So that's always, cost you a few business cards and maybe half an hour, on a Monday.
Yep. And I have some friends that are realtors that have properties, and I do all the work for them. So
there you go.
Yep.
So a couple of things we're going to be showcasing at this mastermind: the property management GPT toolkit, which has all the GPTs we've created specifically for property management. We've created a property management lead finder worksheet, a property management lead research worksheet, a property management client qualification worksheet, an invoice follow-up SOP, repeat call approval SOP, service call workflow SOP, and onboarding property management client SOP. And all of these are going to end up on the Service Alliance Group website for our All Access members. One of the things that I've been really trying to encourage as we're moving forward with these masterminds and different things we're doing is adding extra stuff for the website so that we're adding value for these guys. It's one of the number one things that me and Mike and Zach talk about on a regular basis is how can we add more value to the community? And when I say the community, Alliance community, but especially the All Access, because the All Access are the ones that truly believe in the vision of what we're doing, elevating the industry, and are willing to support us. And it means a whole lot to us. We truly thank it. Sean said, "Saul, how are you, my brother?" I can answer that for you. Sean, because I know Saul. He's excellent because he's a great guy and he's out there killing it. Um, from everything I heard, the MSA convention went awesome. I was unfortunately not able to go there, but my boy EJ went, and he said that it was an amazing event. Have you ever been to any of the conventions, Adam?
I have not. What was the next one coming up that you guys were talking about last week? I was going to write it down.
PSA.
PSA. I was going to write it down so I could look it up, but I'm actually going to grab my pen right now.
Look it up, but do not sign up yet.
Yep.
Okay.
Look it up, but do not sign up yet. We got something rolling out in May. We have partnered with PSA. And let me just say this. PSA is an awesome organization. Mike and Randy.
Been around a long time.
Yes.
They've been around forever. And when the Service Alliance group came onto the scene, we had a lot of pushback from people in the industry. Who are these new guys? Who do they think they are? And PSA was the exact opposite. You know, PSA didn't look at PSA treated us with respect, and they've just been awesome. And no shade at any other of the organizations out there, but I think PSA truly grasps the fact that we're here to help. We're not here to make anybody irrelevant. We're not here to do away with anyone else. We're here to come alongside the people that are already here and just interject what we bring to the table. And that's community. That's the presence of God. We hope to bring the presence of God everywhere we go. Our number one goal is to represent God and be a good representation of Jesus Christ, because we are believers. We do believe in God. And PSA has embraced us and allowed us to come alongside them and partner with them. So if you're thinking about going to PSA, go. But I say this, don't sign up yet. Hold off. Wait. Don't sign up. We're going to be rolling out some stuff in May that's going to save you some money. It's going to get you in there. And the Service Alliance group is doing, I think, 8 classes. 8, and I don't even want to call them classes. We're going to be doing 8 workshops. I'm doing 3. Mike's doing 3, and I think Zach's doing 2 or 3. It might be 9, but 8 or 9 workshops. And we've already started working on them. And they're going to be pretty amazing. Some of them are going to be building off of masterminds we've already done and taking it even to the next level. But it's all going to be business related. We are not your tech support training tech stuff. If you need tech training, there's a lot of good places. TK, what's the cost of the property management mastermind? The property management mastermind is free to our all access members. The only people that can go are all access members. So if you're an all access member, you're already in. All you have to do is go to the website, click on the under where all the different stuff is listed. There's a big thing that says mastermind, and it's got a brain on the middle. If you click on that, it's going to give you the link. But you have to be an all access member to access it. If you're not an all access member, you can sign up today and get 20% off using the code Appliance Alliance. And I just dropped that in the chat. And all you need to do is go to servicealliancegroup.com.
The mastermind.
You guys are all access members, aren't you?
Yep.
Yeah.
What's that?
The mastermind's on the 19th of April, right?
Yep, 19th of April.
Yeah. On a side note to you guys about the PSA, they've been around forever, and their vision is the same as a Service Alliance group. They want to elevate the business, the industry. And any of you guys who might be, hey, I'm just a new guy, I really don't know what I'm doing, you get intimidated by some of these big organizations and everything, come to the PSA. You're going to meet a lot of guys who are, professional. You can develop your network. You're going to find guys who, are specialists in LG and Samsung. Get your business cards, work with these guys, and they will be very open. If you're willing to ask some simple questions, they're going to give you some great answers. If you want to build your business, this is the way to go.
Oh, this is Sean. This Sean is Sean from Vulcan. I didn't realize that was you, brother. Good to see you, man. Thank you for the swag you sent me, man. I've been rocking the shirt. I don't have my mug, but that coffee mug you sent me is one of my favorite travel mugs now. So thank you, brother. Hope you're doing good, Sean. Nice to see you.
I'm gonna date myself when I say this. 20 years ago I used to get a magazine from the PSA every month that had all the information about the appliance industry in it. And that was my birthday present when I turned 20. Is my mom got me a subscription to that magazine, and I get it every year up until they discontinued it.
That's magazines are outdated, but do you have any of the old ones?
I don't anymore. I wish I did. But
I'd love to just see some of the older ones.
They had stuff for HVAC in there and commercial stuff. They'd have
Captain Toolhead.
Reading wiring diagrams and all that kind of stuff. And
yeah, we're gonna have I want to have Mike and Randy on. Me and Dr. Dan actually got to sit down with Mike recently for a podcast episode that will come out one day. We're a little bit behind on. We're not behind on podcasts. We're dropping them once a month. The Appliance Alliance podcasts. But I've been cranking them out. I've got like 9 in the tunnel. I'm actually working with Dr. Dan now. He didn't agree to it, but he'll do anything because he's awesome. We're going to be doing a series called Veterans of the Craft. And Dr. Dan's going to be helping me with that, where we go in and interview veterans. He was a guest on the first episode, and I just love Dan so much. I was like, you know what? You got the job. Unfortunately, there's no pay, but Dan's awesome because he'll just help me, and I appreciate all your help, bro. Saul said, what's the cost of all access? I like the complimentary mastermind classes. That alone is worth the investment. So it's $500 a year. And with your Appliance Alliance, all caps, one word, promo code, you get 20% off. So that's $400 a year.
And that gives you access.
Y'all want me to give you a quick view of the website so y'all can see it?
Sure.
It's
definitely worth the money.
Yeah, because you're going to get more than just the Mastermind glasses. They've got, there's stuff in there that anything that you need to set up and run your business right, it's there. The tool, it's the toolbox right there.
I'm trying to get my girls to answer the phone to use the triaging tool a lot.
Yep.
The thing that I really want to see more of, how do I do this? Video file, share screen, member dashboard. Can y'all see my screen?
Yes.
There it is.
Okay. So the thing that I really am asking the community for help on is we're constantly wanting to make this thing better. And I oftentimes don't know how to make it better because I don't get much feedback. But this is the member dashboard. You can only access this area if you are an all access member. So you have your tech manual search, you have your manual request form. So if you go into our tech manuals and we don't have that particular manual, this is where you request it. Member support, view your account, my subscriptions. This is our AI appliance triage tool. This is where you, your CSR, your techs, whoever, you can go in there, punch in information about the job you're going out on, model number, customer complaint. It's going to help you prepare for that call. Partner discounts, all of our vendor discounts, things like that. Our SOP and business document library, our member event, courses, perks, programs, monthly mastermind, website badges, affiliate program. This one, very few people use this, and I highly recommend you guys sign up. Our affiliate program is a reoccurring program. Anybody can sign up for it. So, Adam, Dan, if you guys think that it's awesome, tell your friends about it. Sign up for the affiliate program. Every year when their subscription renews, you get 10% of their payment. So you get paid 10%. And it's just a way for us to give back to the community and say, hey, we appreciate you guys. And another thing, 10% of all the money that Service Alliance Group makes goes to charity. Um, when you guys see these different things happening within the appliance community, people, unfortunately, people passing away, people hitting hard times, it is very important to us that we're involved in giving back to the community. But this is the monthly mastermind spot. You click on it, and it takes you to the mastermind page, tells you about what a mastermind group is. This was our last mastermind, March 15th. And then our next mastermind is April 19th. And all you do is click this on the day of, you just click join the meeting and you're in there. So that's it.
I can say this though, and I'll give you guys a plug. Being an all access member has probably made me a better business owner. Using the tools that are there have helped us. The SOPs have helped us in times where we've needed guidance on how to take care of a situation. I've been able to go in and look it up and find the area that we've had a question on, and we've been able to make an SOP or use the SOP that was there to fix the problem. A lot of the information that's there is a time saver because I don't have to go hunting for it when I need it. It just makes life so much easier knowing it's all there.
Well, and again, if you're putting together your business, you're going to want all that information, and you're going to save a ton of time in researching. It'll point out things that you should have already put into your SOP. I know I have into my books. The onboarding and whatnot. It's just it saves a huge amount of time.
Yeah. It's also definitely worth the money.
Also, does it? You still working with the parts? Oh, great! My brain just shut off.
UED. Union Electric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we have what you save there. Yeah, what you save there alone pays for the sign up.
Yep.
Yeah. If you're an all access member and you don't have a union account, and you sign up with Union, they're going to give you a Service Alliance Group exclusive discount that they don't give to anybody else. So shout out to UED, and we're talking to some other people about some partnerships. I'm trying to put together a meeting with Marcone /MSA. We just love them so much and everything that they do. And I didn't pay Dr. Dan. I feel like I should have, but I didn't pay Dr. Dan and Adam to come on here and sing our praises.
And we weren't trying to turn this into to turn this into a commercial.
We weren't.
Yeah, but I do. Here, let me do this real quick. Somebody's asking about something. Oh, hang on.
I can say this.
I
tell everybody about the Appliance Alliance Group. Every time I go to a training thing that Whirlpool puts on, or I see my friends from other cities that have appliance stores, I always tell them they have to join.
Yeah. Yeah, and at the end of the day, our only goal is to help elevate the industry. Our only goal is to bring the resources to you. And and I'll just be upfront, I've gotten a lot of flack from people in the industry saying, "Oh, you're trying to take advantage of the people in your community and make money off of them." If I showed you how much money I make off of the Service Alliance Group, you would laugh. You would be like, "Why are you wasting your time doing this? You're not making any money. We don't do this to make money. We do this because we love appliance repair. We love business owners, and it's a labor of love. We put more money back into the business and back into making things better and back into um you might notice that my camera and microphone quality got better. That's because we invested in better equipment. And I'm still not perfect. I have this big fancy light in front of me, and you see Mike and Zach's setups, and they look all
Yep.
nice and pretty, and I'm still working on mine. But we're all about elevating the industry and making things better for you guys. And one thing as we wrap up that I do ask is, if you ever have a suggestion, if you're ever like, man, it'd be really cool if the Service Alliance group did this, let me know, man, because I love ideas. I'm the idea guy. Oftentimes what I do is I'll have an idea and I'll take it to Zach and Mike, and they're the ones that bring it to reality. One of my strengths is I'm a visionary, but my biggest weakness is I have a hard time often with the follow through and the implementation of the visions that I have. And that's why I believe that we're all stronger and better together. I don't know everything. Adam doesn't know everything. Dr. Dan, he may look like the most
Surely doesn't
wisest
know
man on
anything.
earth. He may look like a wise wizard of old, but I guarantee you he's still learning stuff. And that's the reason I love him and guys like Adam so much, because they're willing to learn. These guys have been in this business for years and years. When I was still in high school, doing my thing, acting crazy, skipping school to go smoke dope in the woods. These guys were out there working on appliances. So I'm
TK, I'd
thankful
skip
for
school to
guys.
go do service calls.
Yeah, I guess that's the difference between the two of us, huh, Adam?
And if I ever go a day without learning something, I need to check my pulse.
Yeah.
I can tell you guys, I can take a Whirlpool appliance apart and put it back together, blindfold it. But if you put an LG appliance in front of me, I'd be greatly terrified.
Dude,
I'd
I
be
gotta
shaking
talk.
in my shoes.
I know we're running. Are you guys? Y'all need to hop, or can we keep going?
I'm good for a couple minutes yet. I have till
I got a few more
8:30.
minutes.
All right. Last story, and this happened yesterday. I went back out on that Samsung Flex washer with the front load with the
Oh,
top loader up top.
That's the one you were telling me about.
You guys can have them. I won't work on another one. I know that's not my style to turn away anything, but f that washer. F it. I never, dude. That is the biggest piece of freaking junk I've ever seen in my life.
that
If
machine, that machine is Samsung's answer to Whirlpool's Calypso.
And we all know
Wow,
what
Those
happened to
things,
that
and
machine.
huh?
We all know what happened to the Calypso.
Yeah.
the amount of stupidity that went into engineering that washing machine just blows my mind. Why do you need, first of all, why do you need a little washer on top of your big washer? Are you trying to
Yep.
save? And I looked at how much water that top washer takes in. It takes a considerable amount of water. So I'm not even convinced that you're saving any water. But we had a LCE1 error code. There's a service bulletin on it. You have to go in, completely separate the top washer from the bottom washer. Go into the fabric softener dispenser, take the hose off, which it's right next to this tiny little suspension rod with grease all over it, and then pop the hose off, unscrew this cap, take this black foam piece out, replace it with a plastic piece, and man, let me tell you what, if I never see that, if I'll put it to you this way, if somehow it slips by Beth and I walk in, I send a message out on Telegram, which is what we use for communications in my company. I sent a message out on Telegram with a picture of that washer. I say, we no longer service this unit. If you walk in on one, waive the service fee and go on to your next call. Because I'm
Send them
not
to
giving
Samsung.
you that.
Name.
What's that?
Politely give them somebody else's name from another company.
Yeah,
Or
so if you're
Samsung's phone
watching,
number.
yeah, if you're watching and you're in the Richmond area or surrounding areas and you want to work on Samsung Flex washers, send me your information. I'll more than gladly put you on my list of referrals, and you can have every single one. I'll take your Samsung fridges and I'll send you all. But the good news is they're not very prevalent. I've seen 2 in 10 years of doing appliance repair, so they're not very prevalent, and that's another reason to not work on them. If I was seeing those things every week or even every month,
and you knew them like the back of your hand,
then I'd spend the time to learn them, and I think that's something that we'll talk about in another episode. But not every machine is prevalent, and if it's not prevalent and it's a pain in the ass, I don't want to waste my time working on it.
Yep.
All right, Adam, drop your last nuggets of wisdom before we go. Give us something good, buddy.
Nuggets of wisdom. Don't be afraid to learn something new every day, because I am learning a lot of new stuff right now about my business, and it might be overwhelming, but just take it one thing at a time and evaluate it and see what you can do to make it better and make it work for you.
Amen. Dr. Dan, drop something on us.
Only thing I'd say is, especially if you're new or even if you've been in this business for a long time, don't ever think that you can't learn more, and get yourself into a good mastermind group. You could be doing this for 40 years and you're going to have some guy who's been doing it for a year and a half come up with a new take on something that you never thought of. So the Lord will humble the proud. So take it easy on yourself. Learn from others.
Yep, that's excellent.
Well, thank you guys for joining us. If you haven't, here's my wisdom: if you haven't signed up for the All Access to get into that mastermind, get your butt over to servicealliancegroup.com. Use the code Appliance Alliance, all one word, all caps, for 20% off, and get into these masterminds. We are going to be talking about property management. We didn't give away much today. This was just a precursor to get you guys ready for the mastermind. And here's my true little nugget of wisdom before we go. It's Friday, and you've got 2 days of the weekend coming. Take some time to rest. Take some time to recharge. If rest was important to God, I think it should probably be important to you. If God commanded the children of Israel to take a day to rest, I don't give a crap what day you do it. I don't care if it's Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. I don't think the day is important. I think what is important that we learn from God's example is that we take a day to rest. So get some rest this weekend. Turn your screen off. Turn all the distractions off. Love on your kids. Love on your wife. Spend some time with family, and above all, find a way to serve someone other than yourself this weekend. Find a way to help someone. Turn the TV off. Stop looking at all the distractions of the world and oh, the sky is falling, the world is ending, the economy's crashing, and go out there and help someone and love on some people and see if your life isn't a little bit better. Love you guys so much. Thank you so much, Dan, for joining us. As always, Adam. Thank you, brother. If you guys out there in the Alliance community have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. You see my email address, tk@servicealliancegroup.com, and we will catch you guys next week.
Have a good week, everybody. Bye.
Be blessed.
Peace.